My face had rounded out in the years since it had been taken, but the brown eyes and long dark hair hadn't changed. I hadn't got round to having something new made when I went freelance. I'd been putting it off out of a fear I'd jinx my fledgling business. The main thing was that it still opened the doors I needed it to. Those 3 words were usually met with a look of relief on emergency call-outs, and this time was no different. The PC waved me over to the edge of the crowd and lifted the tape for me to slip under. I could feel the eyes of the onlookers on my back, wondering why I'd been allowed passage. I assumed they were neighbours, their attention drawn by the lights of the emergency vehicles. Few people would be passing through this area of Scunthorpe on a Saturday morning, and if they saw police here they wouldn't be inclined to stop. "Wait here, please," he instructed me, leaving me on the pavement as he approached the house. There were officers in white paper suits milling around in the doorway. Other uniformed men and women moved amongst the crowd, notebooks in hand. It was 7 on Saturday morning. Didn't these people have better things to do instead of gawping? A shiver ran through me as a memory surfaced, but I pushed it back down again. I hovered, halfway along the path, unsure if I should go up to the house or stay where I was. The street was typical for that part of Scunthorpe. Rows of identical council houses squashed together, the gardens and exterior walls in varying stages of disrepair. There were neat gardens, clearly loved and tended. There were front yards that were more like the municipal tip in miniature form. How could people cope, living in such disarray? Past the houses to my left, the road sloped downwards to meet a large patch of waste ground, which stretched away towards the imposing silhouette of the steelworks jagged against the dark sky. Much of Scunthorpe had been built on the Garden City model, but nothing grew amongst the rubble. The streetlights enhanced the shadows, and for a moment I thought I saw movement. Probably a fox. In full daylight the houses on this street looked shabby and run down, but in the gloom of the winter morning they were bathed in the eerie blue glow of the police car lights. 3 cars, lit up, with their sirens off. An ambulance, paramedics moving around inside it, but with an air of despondency rather than urgency. It was serious, then. A phone call first thing in the morning never brings good news. Within an hour of my mobile buzzing me awake, I was pulling up 6 houses down from the address I'd been directed to. I couldn't get any closer because of the police cordon holding back the gaggle of inquisitive neighbours, pyjamas and slippers visible under their coats. I glanced at the windows nearest to me and saw signs of more observers, corners of curtains pulled back, silhouettes at dark windows. None of them would have known what was happening. Even I had been given the barest of detail, and I wouldn't know more until I went inside. I ran a hand through my bed hair. I had been on call for the emergency services for 6 months, and in that time I'd learnt that the people who needed me at short notice would prefer me to be quick rather than smart. If I turned up to a regular job in the afternoon looking like that, I probably wouldn't get much repeat business. But when it was an emergency call-out for the police, all bets were off. Still, my professional life was dogged by that little voice in the back of my mind saying that nobody would take me seriously, and my dishevelled state did nothing to quieten it. I grabbed a brush from my bag and tried to sort my hair out while I waited. The white-suited officers in the entrance to the house had dispersed, leaving a couple with their arms around each other, and I felt a jolt of concern as I recognised them. Alan Hunter and Elisha... I couldn't remember her surname. So, if it was their house, what had happened there? As I watched, the pair separated. There was blood on Alicia's clothes, but she didn't look hurt, and the paramedics weren't with her. Alan's 18-month-old daughter, Lexi, was my sister's goddaughter. As I pictured her, a horrible thought struck me. Where were the children? I'd waited for long enough. I needed to know what had happened in that house.